John, just because it's summer doesn't mean you can sit around on your backside all day.
Skip.
You never take me anywhere.
Skip.
Man, I'm telling you, go paleo. It'll change your life.
Skip.
Don't get stuck with sounds you don't want to hear. Get Spotify Premium free with Vodafone X Music, plus 20 gigs of 4G data for just €20 top-up. Fuel your beats with free Spotify Premium. Search Vodafone X to find out more. For full terms, conditions and limitations, including our fair usage policy, see vodafone.ie.
All right, everybody. New day. It's been crazy as usual. I'm going to try to do a show today. I don't know how many people are going to be around, interested, or out there active in the live, or just partying. But we're going to start with Hawaii. Same old here. Lava is still pouring out into the ocean. It's not spreading. It's not doing more damage to different areas, which is a good thing. The log's really intense, which is the fumes from it, which is making a lot of people sick, which I went into town and heard that today. So outside of that, Hawaii is the same old Hawaii. Rains every night, cloudy most of the nights. I want to deal with the topic today, and I don't know if you read it or not, but we're going to be talking about what's really going on. We have different ideas of who's in power, who's controlling this, who's controlling that, free will, all those words, they mean anything to the human race, meaning the people here. Sorry, there's a lot of construction. I just got out of my attic. I hurt my shoulder. But everybody has a viewpoint, obviously. And that viewpoint's based on their general knowledge. And it's the general knowledge that they were programmed with. We got into this the last time. But what I'm going to try to get into is, why are the problems drugs, sex, drinking, all those things? I can go recovery of my whole childhood. Why? Which is the reason why I am who I am, what I went through to get to where I'm at, and what everybody has to go through to get where they are in a moment. If it's where they really want to be, I'll tell you this. Everybody says they have their mission. Everybody knows what they really came here to do. For one, it's not saving mankind. Nobody has that power. Nobody has that ability to. So we each go through our lives with the idea of who and what we are, based on programming, where we're going to attain to be when we get older, grow up, become older. Where are we going to be? Now, it's not going to be where you expect to. Nothing's ever where you expect it to be. Nothing ever happens the way you expect it to. Sure, you'll get a job or you'll get this and that. Truthfully, what we want to be in life and what we become are usually two different things. Our relationship usually changes. Sorry about that. As we grow. For me, personally, I wanted a set thing in my life when I was young. I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. And I tried. You know, we're going to have a lot of noise. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do this show today with all the problems. I will try. If I can't close the windows anymore, they're all closed. There's drilling going on outside. I'll try to do an hour if I can. See how far we can get into it. But I have my plans. We kind of make our plans when we get a little more awareness in our lives. What we feel good about, what we like, what we don't like. And then we set our goals for that. Go to college to become that. Quit school to become that. We do a lot of different things for the idea of what we think we want. Usually changes. And usually get pushed into something that you truly don't really want. Sure, there's a few people that have a job they truly love, like it, go there and happy and everything else. But is it getting them any further down the road spiritually? Which I was talking about the other day. What does spiritual mean? How far do you want to move in a spiritual direction? And the more I listen to speakers, the more I read, the more I see people talking about their experiences, it looks like we're just moving further and further away from who we really want to be. Now, you could say, why? And I'll say that. Well, the government, and yeah, I usually don't talk too much about the government, but in some cases I have to. Like, they control the world. They control what we do. They control how we act and how we live. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the United States, which is critical, because now they're talking about other people coming from other countries and everything else. They never treated the people inside the United States, meaning the native people, right, ever, and they still don't. So why do you think they would suddenly care about other people from other countries? We went through changes of carrying guns, shooting each other, killing the native people if we could. That's what people wanted to do, killing animals whenever they could. It was a violent situation. I'm sorry about the background noise. I can't do anything about it. Hold on one second. Let me just... Well, I'll have to try to mute it when we're soaring. But as we do this, we each create this vortex that we pull things into our own lives. Friends, relationships. Is it what you want? Everybody thinks love is the most important thing. Well, most people I talk to, most people that are talking out there mainstream, love is the most important. It could be, but it isn't. If people would truly understand it in a greater way than say, oh, love, I'm in love with them. Why? Most people in a relationship, when they start a relationship, don't even talk out their life. What they want to do, what their positive things are, what their negative things are, what they want to get involved with, where they want to live, how they want to live, how many children they really want. All those things are part of marriage. One should have that all pretty well aligned. If you don't want any of those things, you really need to make sure your partner is in the same space. But take the statistics, and I'm not making them up, are horrible. Relationships, marriages do not last. Some last for a couple of months, some last for a couple of years, some last for 10 or 20 years. But how many past that? I could say I made it 20 years in a relationship. I made it 10 years in another. But I feel it wasn't directly my fault why they ended. What I wanted wasn't what the other person wanted after they said they did want it. Hold on 1 second.
Are you sure you don't make this cancel my show? No. You sure? What do you think?
Nope, you got me, plus you got noise. I'm sorry about that. So, yeah. I thought everything I had, I wanted, I had. But when people lie in a relationship, especially when it's starting, nothing good could come out of that. Nothing will come out of that. In the end, the relationship will deteriorate, fall apart, and crash. Of course, serious problems to one and the other. We each look at things in our own way because we're programmed to look at it that way. I mean, people say, I'm one with God. Well, do you understand God enough to try to use God's viewpoint? And I'm sure you don't. People that say they have a conversation or talk to God, please, I'll say I met God 3 times in my life. It was kind of like for a split second. First time, a being brought me there. Second time, a being brought me there. Third time, I was there by myself. But it's not like you're going to have a conversation. Not like you're going to be able to ask them questions. It's just the awareness and knowingness that there is something there. That's much more than anything you could ever perceive before that point. But once you do, you'll get a greater understanding at every level that it's not this and it's not that. I'm going to be doing a couple workshops. I don't know how I'm going to be doing them, but I will be, on understanding God, learning what God is. And if you don't believe in God, where do we go from there? So in a world with 2,000 religions, and they have parts of similar truth from each, but then again, the aspect of what God really is, who God was, are pretty much different. And I call it the little gods, which a lot of people pray to or worshipped. Then we have alien gods. And I like to ask people that are out there talking mainstream, how do you know the difference between an alien god and a deity? Ask this average speaker, whenever you ever go to a conference, ever go to a workshop like that, and you get the chance to ask a question, ask them that question. See what they tell you. How do they know? How do they know it's not an alien? How do they know it's not a deity? And to even make it more complicated, how do they know it's not a demon? Well, it looks this way. I mean, the concept of Jesus for infinity has been a twisted lie. Jesus was the most incredible being. His eyes, as you stared into him, were incredible. You would never, ever experience that any other way. But the concept of what he really looked like with light skin, blue eyes, the long hair. Everybody had hair and beards, but how long was usually up to the area where they lived and things like that. Jesus wasn't into clothes. I mean, he didn't have to have designer clothes or nothing like that, like kings and queens and everybody else to play the role. When he traveled and the people he brought with them, had to give everything up, including their family. How many people today, whatever religion they're following, want to give up their family?